On this week's episode of Marketing O'Clock.
Within Google Ads, video is making its way to assets.
Instagram's going the extra mile with their new Reels trial.
And a new discount is in first order. New customer discounts arrive in Merchant Center.
All on today's show.
Welcome, you are listening to Marketing O'Clock. Just stay tuned. Digital marketing news, but let's get specific. Digital ads, SEO and analytics, social media and more. Pretty much everything that'll make your website perform. With new shows every Friday. We give you the news with sass and puns and definitely hot takes. Thank you for tuning in. You know what time it is. It's officially Marketing O'Clock. Settle in, sit back, keep it locked.
Hey there, I'm Christine Zernheld.
AKA Shep.
I'm Julia Matier,
And I'm Greg Finn.
and it's officially Marketing O'Clock.
Here on December 13th, 2024. Happy birthday, Taylor Swift.
It's her birthday today?
I believe she's 35.
Wow, that's old.
That's hurtful. Some of us are nipping at her heels.
Well, she's older than you.
Yeah, just a couple years.
I picture just maybe it's because of the lyrics and stuff that she's like 25.
Her lyrics are so profound.
Taylor's?
Yes.
I got to re-listen.
I really think that there could be many vocabulary terms that you wouldn't know.
Okay.
You should do the Shakespeare versus
Yes.
Taylor thing to you and
Yes.
see what you know.
Go for it, please.
Okay.
Question to Tables. Tables, if you didn't know that data that you just got, how old would you say Taylor Swift is?
I would think that Taylor Swift is 28.
I would say under 30, 100%.
Well, just because she looks so amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say, she looks great.
Well, it's because the way she acts, I think. With
Okay.
the pettiness and things like that.
She's not petty.
To people that have scorned her, she's very petty.
They deserve it.
I agree.
I don't think it's petty either.
I
think it's honest.
Yes, it's honest and real. And I like to think that we're getting some kind of an announcement today. So
I hope
this is
so.
me in the past hoping for it. I cannot believe we didn't get
I
anything
know,
last weekend.
nothing.
Thank God it didn't stay up late.
Okay. Well, what do we have in the news here, Shep?
Well-
Anything besides Miss Swift?
We do have news. We'll get there. So from Adrian Decker this week, he is sharing with us that there is a new first order discount in Merchant Center. So he says this is live in Merchant Center, spotted by Arpan Banerjee and Chelsea Harding. And he has a screenshot so you can put in the shopper incentive for % off. And then you can select first code. So it's like someone's first time discount when they go to the site, which is my favorite type of discount.
I don't like that discount.
Why?
Because why would it inspire me to buy again?
No, it's the point is getting someone for the first time, and it often works on me, but I will use my husband's email address and get it more than once.
Yeah, always.
And it's always
That's
such
what I
a
do,
nice
too.
discount.
Yeah. Like Fabletics has to be looking at this and be like, oh, this is the best news ever.
Fabletics.
Fabletics,
Fabulous.
I don't know what it is. I bought it once and was like, this sucks.
You did?
Yeah.
They have
Stinks.
men's?
Yes. Stinks.
Are you on like the monthly subscription?
No, I did the VIP thing for one thing. I got shorts. I didn't like them and I canceled it. The best shorts are 10,000.
That's the brand?
No better shorts in the world.
I'm really shocked that you would order from Fabletics.
Yeah, same. I'm like,
and their whole thing is like the monthly, like getting you to order
Yeah.
every single month, but it clearly didn't work for you.
No, there wasn't good product. The
you
product
should
was
have tried something else.
the shorts are not good. If you've ever worn 10,000 shorts, they're the best
Well,
shorts
I
I've ever
unfortunately
made.
had not. So
Well, I hope Kate Hudson isn't listening. I'm a big fan of this in Merchant
Is she
Center. I think
part
it's
of
great
Fabletics?
that it'll be in listings. Yeah, she's all over it.
Does Kevin Hart own some of that? Because I just see his face everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm Fabletics.
That's not cool for him. Wow. Kevin Hart and Khloe Kardashian, they have all the celebrities.
Wow.
But don't order if you want good clothing.
I guess they're not going to sponsor the show.
No, I only wear the best of the best.
Oh.
This
Is that PPC Greg?
The water polo team, the PPC Greg coach.
Gotta
No, I
represent.
think this is cool.
Yeah, definitely welcome. Like, that's a huge promotion that everyone uses. So I'm glad that we'll have it now as an option. Any other news?
Yeah, so next up, Instagram is testing trial reels, which are basically a way for creators to test what content performs by giving them the option to share reels with people who don't follow them. So like setup for it's the same. You like do it like you're making a regular reel, and then you just toggle to turn on trial before posting. And it won't appear in like your main feed. It'll show to you in your drafts, but then people who don't follow you will see it. And then if the reel's performing well, you have the option to easily just share it with everyone, or you can have Instagram automatically share it with everyone if they determine it's performing well based on the views it receives within the first 72 hours. And a few people have tested this already, and they've said they've seen good results, and it'll be globally available to all eligible creators in the next few weeks.
So you can put out a reel,
Mm-hmm.
hit on for trial,
Mm-hmm.
and it won't go to the people following you.
Correct.
Is the point just to get more followers?
It's to like test new content that like you might be nervous about posting and see if it performs well without disappointing your followers, basically. Which is like kind of weird. I feel like it's better to just get new followers, but that was like their reasoning for it. So
Can I say something about this?
no.
Okay.
What?
I love this.
Yeah.
You do?
I love
I
it.
think it's cool.
If you're like, hey, I've got this huge following and I want to test something a little bit out of the ordinary, I want to see how people react to it, and you can go get a quick sample before you send it. Like if everybody hates it,
But that's not the same audience.
Yeah, that's like what's weird, but also like
I would like it as a strategy to get new followers.
right.
I mean, I think you could do both, right? Like I know there's some commentary that people have seen great results
Yeah.
with it, right? And so to me, anything you can do to try to help creators get a better message, I'm all for. I love the fact that they launched this.
We could do some marketing o'clock ads.
Yeah, we should do one with me screaming into the mic, and then one
Yeah.
with you screaming into the
I'm
mic.
sure people would love that.
I'm sure they would. They'd be like, oh, what is this?
Next up in the main news this week, we have a new asset that was spotted by Craig Graham and reported by Adrian Decker. That's where we saw it. There is now videos that are added to assets. So this is, I would say, like a pretty big, not game changer, but it's a big move towards video where instead of having video like added to your PMax or video added to your display, this might like kind of signal the ability to just be like, let's add these assets in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like each time you launch something, you don't need like a YouTube URL. You could be like pull from these different assets and pull them in. And I also think that the ads and the SERPs are going to change.
That's what I was going to ask. Are we going to see videos in the SERPs?
I mean, we've seen those aggressive slideshows that we talked about last week, right? Where there's like or carousels, I guess, rather than slideshows. And I know that Drew Cannon reached out and said that that ad we were talking about last week that looked very different than most ads we've seen was a Google business profile ad. And also that Lori Gilstrap had confirmed the same. But I think this is like a nice thing if you can like add it to PMax. Be like, you have to add a video asset.
I feel like this was the idea when they first did assets, was not necessarily that they are all extensions, but having like some headlines, across account headlines, and they're all just like assets and you can add them to different campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing a video in the SERPs might be pretty crazy. I wonder if there'd be sound.
But I guess the biggest question to me would be like, even for display now, right? You currently have to put like video URLs in putting a new URL in, like let's say it's PMax and it's an asset group, that's going to change the campaign. If you swap out an asset, would that change the campaign and change the data? I don't know. I would assume it wouldn't because assets don't do that.
And you're still adding a URL, we think. It's not really clear from the screenshot.
I mean, I would
But
assume
you would still
it's
need like a YouTube account.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I have not seen this, but I think it's nice where you can essentially not reset a campaign by changing the ad. Instead, you can swap out assets and leave the ad untouched. You know what I mean?
You are so positive this week.
Thank you. I'm always positive.
Let's keep it up.
And now for this week's
Cool tool.
As a reminder, our Cool Tool segment is not an official endorsement or paid mention. We're simply sharing something we found in our travels that may be of use to our listeners. and is really, really cool.
This week's cool tool is from Cloudflare, and it's their AI audit dashboard that allows you to easily understand how AI companies and services access your content. So they have this new feature, which you can now quickly see which AI services are honoring your robots.txt policies and which ones aren't, and then you can programmatically enforce these policies. So it's just a cool dashboard from Cloudflare. It's available for all Cloudflare customers, and it's really cool. We'll have the link in our newsletter and in Discord, so check it out.
Now it's time for this week's Take of the Week. This is a #fire digital marketing take with extra spice served up for you. We simply deliver the take for your consumption. We give no opinions. We don't influence. You make the call.
This week's Take of the Week is a takeoff.
Ooh.
Love that. And we saw a lot of memes, I'd say, based off of the Spotify Wrapped. We did one as a company here at Cypress North. You can go check it out on our socials. But many people spoofed the Spotify Wrapped, and we've got a couple highlights here. First up from Adrian Decker. Adrian Decker has a post over on LinkedIn that says, "My Google Ads Wrapped is out. You spent 525,600 minutes this year dismissing recommendations."
Minutes well spent.
Very well spent. We've got another one from Harrison Jack Happ. And Harrison says, "Did anyone else get their Google Ads Wrapped? Mine just said I clicked campaigns 72,360 times this year, or 216 times a day."
So relatable.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm so sick of clicking campaigns.
I wish there was actually stats for this. Like, I wish I could tell.
That would be so fun.
I would love that.
All right. And then from Bram Vanderhalen, they say that their Meta Ads Wrapped has 57,600 minutes this year in Meta Ads Manager. Their biggest grind day was on Black Friday, or November 29th, clocking in at 540 minutes. And then there's one feature used again and again and again. It was toggling off the Advantage Plus creative enhancements. And the favorite notifications were resolve error, publishing your changes, custom events can't be used, update required, learning limited, and oh, it looks like we have company. Here's a special message from your Meta Pro. Hi, Bram. Hope this message finds you well. It's also, there's a lot more. Good. Go follow Bram.
He
on
worked
LinkedIn.
so hard. This is really good.
He did
good.
kind of hate on Mariah Carey. I don't know what you think about that.
Why are we even bringing her into this?
I don't know. I feel like he lost your vote with
Which
that.
you definitely didn't want playing on your Instagram ad.
And it was All I Want for Christmas by Mariah
Oh,
Carey.
you forgot
like-
to press
yeah.
add music.
Yeah.
He made it about marketing.
It was about Meta.
This
It just
everyone
happened.
does this, but he really took it to the next level.
Yeah.
I agree. I vote Brown.
Yeah.
Same. He put in the work on that.
All right. Congrats, Bram, on the win. You have won the Takeoff for Take of the Week here on December 13th.
Also, he said, "Here's to another year of shouting, 'It's not me, it's Meta' at your screen."
Love Bram.
Really good.
Now it's time for this week's Pew Pew Lightning Round. At this point in the show, we split up our content into 3 parts: paid, organic, and social.
First up in the paid universe this week, Colin Slattery shared on X something that I guess a lot of people were thinking this week. He said ad customizers not being supported in the headlines asset option is trash. It's literally the only theoretical use case. And Kirk Williams said, "Yeah, we want our countdown customizers in there." I hadn't thought of that before, but that's like exactly how you'd want to use it.
100%.
And you can't add customizers. I had no idea. So a lot of people were agreeing. And then Ginny responded and said they aren't supported today, but I'll share the feedback with the team. Currently, campaign level headlines and descriptions support scheduling and pinning. So hopefully we'll have that for next holiday shopping season.
I also just have to say, from HeroConf and Brighton SEO, I got the feeling that Ginny could actually move things forward.
Mhm.
Did you get that feeling?
Yeah. And then after this, I think Kirk responded, which I don't know if I agree with him on this, but he was like, "Can you also make it so account or campaign level headlines that are pinned always take precedent over a headline that's pinned in an ad?" And
I
she was
disagree.
like, "Done.
Yeah.
I'll forward it on."
No.
Ask the rest of
everything
us,
goes
Ginny.
down.
We should get to vote on these matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
It should go down in priority.
Yeah. So disagree, Kirk, but it's nice to know that she can get things done. Next up from Adrian Decker, he noticed another Merchant Center edition that's really cool. He said this one he found from Emmanuel Flossie, and Emmanuel discovered that you can now specify which payment methods you accept in Google Merchant Center. So there's options for Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal, Shop Pay, and Venmo. So that's really cool too.
Love that.
Lots of good things happening in Merchant Center.
Wow.
Just in time for the holiday. No, they missed the whole holiday. From Hannah Kobzova, Google posted a new help document in Merchant Center, Help Center, documenting the annotations and badges available both in free and paid Google shopping results. This is something that e-commerce people should bookmark, like really simple guide. Is it available for free and is it available for paid? Love it. Also, Brett Badofsky found a new display ad format that is completely unmissable. Google Ads display ad.
Oh, yeah.
Wild
It's
one.
crazy.
He says the entire border of the website on mobile becomes taken over by the Google ad. You really have to see this to believe it, but it's like, it's a Google ad, but it's like a huge border around the page on mobile. That's like this thick green border that's cutting off some of the copy on the page. And then the Google ad is at the bottom for shopping. Gifts for all things style.
Would you call this intrusive?
Yes!
A bit.
So what about the page experience update that talked about not having intrusive ads?
And made us say intrusive interstitials.
This is as intrusive as you can get as an ad.
It's crazy.
It is wild.
Also, it looks like this is an ad for Google. I'm very confused. Like, what is the brand?
It seems like
Oh,
Google.
yeah.
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 They're selling jeans?
I think they're trying shopping, but we'll get to it later in the show. But they still have no idea how to do shopping.
Great. Next up, PPC Greg shared a policy violation from the Google Ads platform, and he has a bunch of things highlighted in here. It says, fix any policy violations before you appeal a policy decision. The extension status won't change the review process. Once the review is complete, all extensions that comply with the Google Ads policies will be appealed. And there is the mention of the word extension 3 other times on this little page, little screenshot. He says extensions to assets equals Twitter to X. I think that's why they did it. Like the video thing, like you said before, is it's not that they're all ad extensions. It's that like any piece of an ad is now an asset. Like I think all of our one day we're just going to put a bunch of copy in there that's going to apply to all of our campaigns, videos, images, and it's just all assets.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
You just ruined my day.
I'm sorry.
You ruined my day, Shop. I think you're right, though.
Yeah.
Can you make it easy on novices?
Of course not. Of course not.
Because what we get are people that come to us and are like, Google Ads not work for us. It's like, yeah.
They'll make it easy to spend money.
They'll make it
Not to
easy to
get
spend money.
results.
But when you don't call something an extension and it's changed to assets and then you give directions.
And then your assets are disapproved and they're calling them extensions.
Extensions. Just, come on, guys. Get it together.
Can't. Next up from Anthony Hickman.
Hickman!
Google is deaf, he says, changing results and ads per user now. For anyone who is seeing their results suddenly fall off a cliff on the ad side, I suspect it may be related to this. I feel like this is an enormous problem. See, I think that's a good impression.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
8 exclamation
Yeah.
marks.
It should not be this way. So he says he noticed today that he could not get an LSA to show up with his usual tactics on desktop. He spends so many hours populating results. Like,
No,
when is he working?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I want to see his Google Ads wrapped.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
What are your usual tricks, Anthony? He says he was only seeing PPC ads on every search, meaning not LSAs. Then I switched my IP by disconnecting Wi-Fi and connecting to my cell phone personal hotspot. And guess what's at the top? LSA. LOL. So I guess we're all getting personal results.
I'm sorry,
organic and
that's a Hickman problem. I know he's reporting on this, but if you consistently see ads of your client and you don't click on them, you're not going to get them served as much.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's how smart bidding's supposed to work. But I feel for you, Anthony. Next up, Thomas Assell discovered that for demand gen campaigns, the video enhancement is now a default opt-in. So it's a little checkbox in your
great.
settings,
Great.
and you're automatically opted in by default. And that is it for paid. What's happening in organic?
All right. In organic this week, the Google November 2024 core update has finally finished rolling out, and it ran through December 6th.
Wow.
Not the longest update this year by far.
So, according to Barry Schwartz over at Search Engine Roundtable, it is targeting all types of content. It is not penalty related. It is a global update, and it's around the normal core update stuff around helpful content. That's from Barry verbatim. What's that noise?
It's time for Barry's Charts with Greg.
All right, our first chart this week comes from Mangools, and I absolutely, positively love this chart because it's by Mangools. All right, our next chart is by Data for SEO, and Data for SEO has never recovered since November. It has been redlining, flatlining. Every single day is a 10. This is a straight line. Look at this chart. What do you think?
It's a straight line, but it kind of makes you think there's no volatility, but they're saying that there's a lot, right? It's very confusing.
I just appreciate sometimes a nice straight blue line in this case. All 10s. This tool, I feel like, has been broken. And that's why it gets number 2.
So why does Barry keep pulling it?
I don't know, but I love it. It's just literally a straight line. Go
And
check our YouTube out.
He doesn't put
You'll
any
see.
captions on these. They're just in there.
No, these captions come from us. He relies on us. to provide the
There's no,
captions.
speak for yourself. There's no us here.
Okay, and lastly, we have advanced web rankings. If you look at this, everybody can see what this is.
Wow.
This is literally a
Literally.
stegosaurus with a mountain peak and a volcano. Every time I look at this, that's all I can see. I cannot unsee that.
Why is the stegosaurus bigger than the mountain and the volcano?
It's called perspective. It's closer towards the camera.
Okay.
But if you look on YouTube, you can see that this chart is exactly a stegosaurus in the prehistoric times with a mountain and a volcano.
Exactly.
It is that, yeah.
That is the chart of the week. Congrats to Advanced Web Rankings. That was Barry's Charts with Greg, a visual program,
An audio program.
an audio program about visual charts. If you want to see them all, check us out on YouTube. Okay, next up, Sora is here. We talked about the kind of ship miss. They're shipping things. I don't want to get censored here. That OpenAI is doing, and Sora was launched back on December 9th. We have a pro account. I couldn't get into it. They launched it and it was just too much demand for it. And Sora is their video AI version of things. Why don't you guys just check out some of these examples from Angry Tom Tweets here. Tables, throw them up live here. And why don't you guys just react to some of the Angry Tom examples that you can see on X. I feel like Sora hasn't got gymnastics down. That's one takeaway.
Oh no!
I don't think they know how snowboarding works.
I'm so upset.
I'm like itchy.
It's
don't
pretty bad. There's a gymnast that landed in mustard. It's not fantastic,
Oh, the mustard!
but it's pretty cool that you can just do this with OpenAI. As soon as it opens back up, if you're a pro user, I would recommend testing it out. Again, lots of bugs. I'd say a lot of bugs, especially in gymnastics.
Yeah, just stay away, gymnasts.
But pretty cool that it is here. All right, next up from CNBC, Apple has launched the ChatGPT integration with Siri. Shep just yawned at that, if you saw it on camera. And it's for iPhone, iPad, and Mac. And when you ask Siri a complicated question, we know from past history here in 2024 that I asked where at the time the Phoenix Coyotes played, or Arizona Coyotes.
Oh, right.
And it sent me to the wrong location. Well, if it's a complicated question, it's now going to default to ChatGPT. This is a big deal for ChatGPT. It's going to be way more volume. They're going to answer these questions whether or not you have a pro account. You'll be able to sign up for a pro account with an Apple. This is huge. And Glenn Gabe said, alarms are going off at Google HQ, and talks about the ChatGPT integration triggers when users ask Siri complicated questions. When Siri is asked a question the Apple software identifies as better suited for ChatGPT, it asks the user permission to access the OpenAI service. Apple says that it has built in privacy protections into the feature, and the OpenAI won't store requests. And then he put up another post that it looks like he made on Sora that says, I asked Sora what Google HQ looks like right now after Apple launched its ChatGPT integration. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but it's a form of chaos. And there are explosions or fireworks that start on the TV and somehow make it into the room. Then there's a bunch of people in suits that get very mad.
Fireworks are usually for good things.
Not inside.
Yeah.
Not inside. Those are usually bad. You usually see those wedding examples, those wedding videos where people have like sparklers and then everything lights on fire.
I'm not on the same side of the internet as you.
Yeah, I'm on what could go wrong on Reddit. And next up from Barry Schwartz over on Search Engine Roundtable, YouTube is changing the way that they display a channel name in the SERPs. In the past, you could see who had made the content and how old the content was. So in his example, you could see it was from Rusty Brick and it was 3 weeks ago. In the new test in the SERPs, you can no longer see what channel it comes from or when it was made.
I don't like that change.
Yeah.
Why would you burn calories doing that?
Yeah.
Honestly.
I don't know.
So I can only think of it in one way, that they don't like showing old YouTube videos because people don't click on it and they want zero-click search. Similar to what we saw with dislikes, they said it was because of a bot problem. They couldn't identify people, these bot armies disliking things. Why would you take away something that is helpful? Burn calories trying to do something unhelpful. You probably watch a lot of YouTube, am I correct?
You are, yes.
If you see that something, it's a video from somebody you follow or somebody you know and is recent, would that be a help to you?
It would be, yeah.
And this is why Google search is broken, because you're taking things that are easily positive in the search results and you're removing them.
Do they want people to click, like if it's old and they don't know how old it is, they would still click? Is that, I wonder if that's the theory?
Yeah, I think they're like,
think
oh,
that's-
this is 3 weeks old, I'm not going to click.
But then the minute you click on it, you can see how old it is, right? And it's still just.
But that
Yeah,
is
but
still,
it's still traffic.
Google property
Right,
to
right,
Google
right.
property and then hit back to Google property. This is,
Oh no.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to rant.
Why?
It's just, you burn calories to do this. You know what I'm saying? You should,
An hour or something.
but we're talking in 2024 about videos about why Google's dead, the person who killed Google, all these different things. You took the time to implement a test to not show the channel and let people get right to the channel or show the time. There is not a single human in the world. If you do a test on every human being in the world, the odds would be 1,000 of 1,000 people would say knowing the channel and knowing the date would be helpful. And yet you went out and you paid your developers to remove this as a test.
And by the way, it looks terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful. All right. Something else equally as awful. We've got news from Gemini. They have Gemini 2.0. It's their most capable AI model yet. They're the first that have some 2.0 flash, better performance, new multimodal output, blah, blah, blah. It's still Gemini. It still can't create humans, and it still sucks.
Wow.
Do you disagree?
No.
I haven't tried it yet, but don't
It's
plan.
Bird 3.0.
Bird.
Bird. Just no. Nobody's going to use it.
Like that.
Bird.
You're saying
Bird. I don't know. Gemini 2.0. You got it.
Nice.
Still can't make humans. Okay, they got a pumpkin and an apple.
well, I don't want it to.
Okay.
It should just say if somebody requests humans, it should say no, I can't do that.
All right. Well, I'm happy you're happy with that.
I'm not.
Okay. Next up from Barry Schwartz, the Google shopping and product detail results has a track price that you can share and save those items about the product. So I
Nice.
love the track price thing. Like if you're looking for a deal, you can't swing something, can't afford it, track the price when it gets to where you want, check it out, or just track it when you see it low on a sale day, buy it. I like that. That's great.
Mm-hmm. Love it for flights. So
You know what? I kind
that's
of
a good idea.
love information. You know, like if you had YouTube and it showed maybe a
it'll
channel,
be really nice.
Yeah.
maybe a date, like people just want information.
You should suggest that.
You're supposed to be this cultivator of information. And to me, that's why I love it. It's also why I hate the last story. All right, Sundar Pichai had a in-depth video. If you're an SEO or care about Google at all, I'd recommend it. It talks about the fact that search itself will continue to change profoundly in 2025. And I think we're going to be able to tackle more complex questions than ever before, according to Sundar. And he went on to say, I think you'd be surprised even early in 2025, the kind of newer things search can do compared to where it is today. Also, the interviewer asked him about some of these AI response items like ChatGPT. And Sundar just did the blanket statement ever like, oh, we were the first to pioneer AI. We used it with Bard and Llama and all these things. And we showed it to 9 billion people in the SERPs. It's like, buddy, you missed the point. The point isn't search results. The point is answering things. One other thing that I thought was interesting, he went on to talk about a lot about creators and how to attribute things. They asked him directly, like, what the legislation should be or like what the ethics should be. If you remember, the Microsoft CEO said everything's ours, but at least that's like a take.
Mm-hmm.
Sundar's like, well, we should need to wait for legislation. And the interviewer was like, well, that's going to be too late by that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had a non-response is how I'm judging that based off of the ethics of taking people's content. But another thing is regards to Reddit, right? And the interviewer said, you know what? Let's role play. You want to be an interviewer or you want to be Sundar?
Interviewer.
Okay, you're the
I do
interviewer.
not want to be Sundar. So I'm Sorkin.
Yep.
Do you see a day where instead of the blue link economy, if you will, that you are actually going to be sending checks to creators that created even an idea or a fact that you were able to collect along the way?
I mean, down the line, well, we are licensing content for AI today. We are doing that where we see value.
Is that how he talks?
No, that's how I'm depicting it.
One of the things is fascinating to me. You're licensing data, for example, from Reddit, right? But what's so interesting about that is folks on Reddit are just typing away for free. It's a fascinating business model.
Look, we license data from Reddit. We license data from AP. We license data from New York Times. We do it across the world in a variety of ways, but I think over time, will there be models by which people can create? There'll be a marketplace in the future, I think. There'll be creators who will create for AI models or something like that and get paid for it. I definitely think, that's part of the future and people will figure it out. What a stupid answer that is.
Wow.
You're like, will you pay people? Just say no.
Yeah.
Just say no. I'm going to steal it from Reddit.
Yep.
I'm going to pay Reddit. That's why Reddit stock price is high.
Yep.
How many people get money over there? Nobody. Just say you're not going to pay people. Say that your whole goal is theft. Just say that. So just be honest.
Never.
That's the 2025 resolution. Is to have some authenticity and honesty in this world of liars, cheats, and thieves.
I don't think that's Sundar's resolution. Yeah.
No, it's just non-answer word salad. All right. I know we report on this briefly, but if you are using WP Engine and you follow the drama between WP Engine and WordPress, WordPress is obviously very unhappy with WP Engine and have tried to cut them off essentially because of the licensing of WP being too close to WordPress and then them not contributing back to the community. Well, WP Engine won an injunction in their case. It is a preliminary injunction, but they are going to be able to support all of their users in the way that they were back in like September 20th or some date. So if you're a WP Engine user, for the moment, you're safe. And it does seem like, honestly, WP Engine is going to win this case because WordPress they're psychos. Psychos.
Dang.
They are. They're like, you're not paying, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I'm happy that WP Engine won. Okay. And last up, we've got not a new segment, but a recurring segment. I'm sorry for ear holes, but it's called I'm Not Going to Forget About Page Annotation, Shep. Google launched page annotations, which inject links into content that doesn't have links if you use the Google app on iOS only.
Mm-hmm. And you use the Google app.
I do, but it doesn't work for me, but I'm still upset about it. So I have a comrade by the name of Anthony Higman that do all my research for me. So I went through and I just looked at an article over on Wix.com. It happened to be an article that you wrote, Shep.
Oh, no.
Why don't you scroll down? You can see the article here.
Oh,
Page annotations on Google.
Link
because
to
Wix
text.
didn't opt out on the Google forms that it's impossible to find. They injected a link on Cypress North.
Wow.
Where does that take you?
so it should go to cypressnorth.com, right?
No. Instead,
Why
it
would
does
it
a
do that?
search, which we talked about coming up in our Clockskers here, where advertisements have been tested to show on local business pages, but it takes you off of Wix.com back to Google, albeit technically Wix.com is in a layer until you click on the ad on the Google results.
So now it's personal.
This
Really?
is to
Yeah.
your content. What do you think about that?
I'm disgusted
You know that
that they would send someone from Wix.com, Wix.com, Wix.com.
over to what?
The Google SERP.
Correct.
Absolutely criminal.
Yes. And on here, obviously, we know with Google Business Profiles, you can see competitors, all that information,
Yeah.
not necessarily.
Sometimes ads we've seen. I
many
won't
times.
stand for it.
Okay. We're going to put some next week. Mark my words. We've got a call to action.
Okay. Disgusting.
This is your content, Shep. How do you feel?
I'm enraged. That is so disgusting.
It's bad.
The most deplorable thing Google's ever done.
We're leading the charge on this. I will not sleep.
So this is the Google app, not Chrome.
Google app, yeah. But
People
injecting
search on the
links
Google app.
on Wix.com, Wix.com, they're injecting ads.
You can't do that.
And I know it's not an ad. They're sorry, this is an ad. You're sending people
To Google.
your own site
Yeah. You just
without
don't have
their
to pay
consent.
for it.
You didn't say opt into this.
So
I'm going to make money.
disgusting. Did you tell Wix?
I'm going to tell them tomorrow on It's New.
Listen, Wix.
Tell them fill out that form
Send
that's
them the
impossible
form.
to find.
That is so disgusting.
They did it to you. They did it to you, Shep.
What if it was
They
my
could do it
name?
to everybody.
Yeah, really. What is your name? It goes to your bio.
The Vanity Fair article I was quoted in 2014.
What were you quoted for?
We've talked about it on the show. I went and waited for Kate Middleton to show up at this event in New York on the streets, and Vanity Fair interviewed me.
What did you
I
say?
sounded like a silly little girl. I was like, Kate Middleton wore a blue dress in her engagement photos, so I wore a blue dress to prom.
Wow. I think Kate read that.
It said Christine Shepherd gushed. She's probably reading it right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it in organic. What's happening in social, Julia?
First for social, Meta's testing the option to hide like counts on Reels and replies on Threads. So like counts on Reels kind of makes sense. The idea here is to kind of get more views on your Reels because most of the time people just click on a Reel that has the highest amount of views. So now they'll maybe click on more.
Is that true?
That's what I do.
I just see him in the feed.
Well, but I guess I'm thinking too, TikTok specifically. When I go to someone's page, I just click on the most viewed one. So I assume people do the same thing on Instagram. So that makes sense.
But does it work for you?
I mean, yeah, I'm only on their page because I want to see why they're famous or something.
So you would say that being able to see what content has the most likes or engagement is a helpful thing or an unhelpful thing?
Well, it depends who you, for me, it's helpful because I want to just see why they're famous. But for them, I'm watching one video. And
well, don't you think that's also their best video? So they would want you to watch.
Yes, true. Probably, yeah.
If you're like, hey, this person's funny, I want to see the funniest stuff. Is that a metric you'd use?
Sure.
Okay. So what are they doing? They're enhancing this?
Right. They're removing that.
Oh.
No, they're not. I think this is you can opt in.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And they're hiding replies to Threads. Nobody's replying to Threads.
Well, that was so stupid to me because isn't that literally the point of Threads? Also, they're hiding the replies, but it's how they hide likes on Instagram. Other people can't see the replies, but you can see your own, who replied to you. So, their point was maybe people will care less about getting criticism, but they're still going to get criticism. Just no one else can see it but them.
Did Adam Mosseri make this announcement?
I don't think it was from him.
Then I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was in some sort of golden scuba suit with a dapper hat.
Next for social, this I just thought was insane a little bit to me. TikTok's in-app sales on Black Friday topped 100 million, which is triple from Black Friday last year. And I just think that's crazy. But a third of these sales went to small and medium-sized businesses, which is cool. And then a live shopping stream hosted by Nicki Minaj became the highest viewed TikTok shop live in the app's history with over 172 million viewers. I still never have bought anything from TikTok Shop, and I'm pretty sure you still don't have TikTok Shop.
What's in your cart?
No.
Nothing anymore.
No Drake calendar?
No Drake calendars. I think they're probably all sold out after this day, but yeah.
I like the fact that a third of it actually went to SMBs.
Right. Yeah.
It's all you hear is lip service from Google with SMBs. This is fantastic.
Yeah, that is cool.
Well, we have it because we might not for long.
True. What a sad day. Next, X makes Grok AI chatbot available to all users. It was previously only available to premium users, which is 1% of X users. Have either of you used this?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I tried to make a Twitter the other day.
What is your name going to be?
I tried.
I tried is the key word. I also tried again today and it didn't work.
What happened?
I couldn't pass the CAPTCHA thing.
She's a robot.
We need Jess.
I
Jess
literally-
plays those games for
It was
fun.
making me match things to in orbit, but none of them were the same. And I just couldn't waste any more time on it. I tried 3 times and I was this is ridiculous.
Let's set it up now.
I can't.
Pull up X. We'll get it going.
Probably going to get a different one than I did last time.
I think you're a robot.
I might be.
Okay, and we're back, and Julia still could not set up an X account, correct?
It's simply impossible.
Well, it's because your phone number is
it's
associated with
because-
your baby Twitter.
With my high school Twitter.
So what are
can
we
you
going to do?
I don't know. I'll give them my mom's or something. Phone number.
Solid plan.
Yeah. Then last for social, LinkedIn is adding the option of revolving slideshow for profile banner images for LinkedIn premium users. So it's only for premium people right now, but you can just select a few for that banner image behind and it'll scroll through them automatically, which is a fun little update.
I feel like Thomas Assell, Adrian Decker, Bram Vanderhalen would love this one.
Yeah.
If you're a big LinkedIn user, you're
Yeah.
premium, you can make that scroll or rotate. That's cool.
And that brings us to our real life segment, straight out of our accounts and into your ear holes. It's time for Working Hard or Hardly Working, where we talk about what's going on in our IRL work, good, bad, or otherwise.
Hardly working for me this week. I have another complaint about ad customizers, I want to try them for location. And you can't just like make it and automatically get the preview. You have to like keep scrolling through the ad preview until it pops up. So eventually, like,
In it.
I did, but it was just annoying. Like, just show me that one.
Agree.
What about you, Julia?
Hardly working for me this week is when you send like a link from Google Ads or Microsoft Ads to someone else, like say you want them to look at like a specific campaign for like the last like weird dates or whatever. It'll like the link will work, but it won't keep the dates the same. So then like you're not looking at the same thing. And I'm always like, well, what dates were you looking at? Because like I'm confused on like what the problem is. So it just like annoys me. Like, can't you just like the dates go to?
And it's annoying for me to not know and just send you a link every time, not tell you the dates.
Yeah. No.
All right. And for me, something hardly working is anybody who ever hard codes UTMs onto links on their website. We had an issue where this happened. Hard coded source, things like a banner or homepage, mediums got all messed up. Never, ever, ever use UTMs to track what people do on your website once they're there. That's what events are for. That's what key events are for.
Mm-hmm.
And we had an issue during Cyber Monday, Black Friday, where something got changed last minute, put up. We were able to fix it very quickly. Put up by a client, not us, obviously. But it just messes with everything when you overwrite the source or the medium or the campaign even with your own stuff. Never do it. Set up events. If you don't know how, trust me, it is worth the money to talk to somebody that can do this for you, like us, and make sure that you have actual tracking.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time for this week's ICYMI.
ICYMI, people.
This is something you just might not have seen. Maybe something that you overlooked, but you shouldn't have.
ICYMI, people. We have an article from the Cypress North blog by one Julia Mateer.
I know her.
And it is called, first of all,
Wow.
A+ title.
Thank you. I think Heather came up with it.
Minimize your PMax stress. How to make Google Performance Max work for you. And this article by the wonderful Julia, it is like a month old. I'm sorry we waited so long to share
That's
it.
okay.
But the data is relevant, even though it is a month old. There's a lot of different ways to do PMax, and we're talking about it all the time like it's one thing, but there's like lead gen PMax versus e-commerce PMax with just the shopping feed versus the e-commerce with assets. And Julia has
Page feeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's walking us through all the different types of PMax, how to make it work for you. So, and the image is beautiful.
Thanks.
You know I love pink and purple.
I know. Lane did so good.
So thanks, Julia.
Now it's time for our must-read marketing article of the week. An article so advanced, so in-depth, so detailed that we simply cannot cover it in its entirety on today's show.
This week's must-read marketing article of the week is How to Segment Traffic from LLMs in GA4 by Dan Taylor. If you're trying to figure out how much traffic something like a ChatGPT or Copilot are sending you, Dan has a great article that breaks it all down for you. He talks about how much traffic you're getting, why you should be segmenting, a couple different ways that you can segment LLM and chatbot traffic. One of them is a GA4 Explorer snapshot, another's traffic analysis. And then he talks about reporting in general in Looker Studio. And you can actually track in Looker Studio, according to this article from Dan. So if you want to know, like, hey, how much are these AI-fueled engines driving? Check out this article over on Search Engine Land. Thank you, Dan.
And now on to our playlist of curated songs to work to. You can head over to playlist.marketingoclock.com to listen to Marketing a Playlist. Julia, what will you be adding this week, and will you be adding it?
I'll be adding Beautiful Soul by Jesse McCartney.
Oh,
Related to Paul?
great song. Totally.
Yep.
Cool.
Greg?
All right, so this is like a Glenn Gabe pick. I feel like he could be working out. I feel like he likes Springsteen. Like he's that New Jersey
He's from New
vibe.
Jersey.
Yeah. So this is like one I like, but I feel like Glenn would love this one. So I want to picture him listen to Marketing Clock, finish it up, and then going on to listen to People Watching by Sam Fender. And Shep, what kind of wicked crap do you have for us?
Defying gravity.
Okay.
All right, that does it for today's show.
It is now officially not Marketing O'Clock,
Thanks for listening.
We miss you already.
and we can't wait to see you next week.
Thanks for listening to Marketing O'Clock. If you're looking for more information on today's topics, head over to marketingoclock.com/newsletter to receive every single article we covered. We share the news as it breaks in our Discord community. Head over to community.marketingoclock.com to join.